Hi, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Perfect. Excellent. And I do have automatic speech recognition or captioning turned on. If you can't see them, please let me know and you can put it in the chat and we will change our settings, but it should be running. Hi, everyone. So my name is Dr. Davi Kallman, and I use she, her, and her pronouns. I am an advisor and awareness coordinator at the WSU Pullman Access Center. So before we begin and have Dr. Henry speak on this really important topic, I want to talk to you about the WSU Access Center. It's the reason we're all here today. The Access Center provides accommodations and services to incoming and current WSU students with disabilities that can limit their access to the educational environment. Through this, we support self-determination and development of students with disabilities by removing barriers to academic success, promoting self-advocacy, and providing support to foster student learning and engagement in all opportunities available at the university. We also help foster support through awareness programming events throughout the year, such as this event today. We would like to welcome you to Achieving Mental Wellness in 2021. In Achieving Mental Wellness in 2021, Dr. Henry will explore and discuss how to approach your mental wellness in this upcoming year. The theme of this year's symposium is Fitness for All, Inclusive Fitness and Sport. This year, the symposium is the week of March 29th through April 2nd, so this is the second day of our symposium. We look at fitness from a holistic lens and include both mental and physical fitness. The symposium focuses on mindfulness, mental health, physical health, and nutrition. We will also be offering a series of adaptive workout classes via Zoom or at the Chinook Center. One of these workout classes is today. We have adaptive yoga with Cassandra Yarlot, and it will be happening from 4 to 5 p.m. today. The adaptive fitness classes include yoga, Zumba, weightlifting, spin, and rock climbing. And the symposium would not have been possible without the support of our partners, SNA, UREC, GPSA, WSU Graduate School, Outreach and Education, and Advance at WSU. We'd also like to thank our wonderful student organization, the Disabled Students and Allies Club, who helped us plan these events. Extra credit and programming will be given to WSU student participants of this event. We'll be posting a link to an exit survey right after the event and the end of the discussion, which will give an opportunity for you to put in which group you will be getting extra credit for your participation. Even though this allows us to track who comes for participation points, we also encourage all participants to take the exit survey as it helps us understand what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. Before we continue, I'd like to read the Wsu Land Acknowledgement. WSU would like to acknowledge that WSU Pullman is located on the ancestral lands of the Palouse people and on the ceded lands of the Nimipu or Nez Perce tribe. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce Dr. Sunday Henry. Dr. Sunday Henry is a board certified as a family physician as a primary care sports medicine physician. She graduated from the University of Idaho with a BS in zoology in 1997 and from Creighton University School of Medicine in 2002. Dr. Henry completed her family medicine residency at Family Medicine Residency of Idaho in 2005 and completed a fellowship in primary care sports medicine at Family Medicine Residency in 2007. Dr. Henry spent 4 years working as a team physician for the University of Idaho and has been a team physician with Washington State University since 2012. Dr. Henry currently works for WSU Athletics as the medical director and head team physician for WSU. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Dr. Sunday Henry.
Hello, everyone. I'm so delighted to be here. Thanks to the Access Center for holding this event. I want this to be interactive, and so I'm going to try to make this so I can see as many of you. What if we all turned our cameras on? So you guys can kind of see me and my I call this the COVID command center because this is what I've been, where I've been working for the last year. But I encourage you because I need energy from you. So let's all kind of turn on our camera, and I want this to be interactive. And because like the title sort of implies, hello, look at all those faces. So that gives me energy. Um, and kind of also gives me feedback on if I'm getting too boring or something. But I don't want to talk at you. I want to have a conversation with you about what I mean. The title of the talk sort of seems like maybe I have all the answers, and I don't. But I think that do I think that we can talk about things that will help? Yeah, for sure. Um, so one of the things like where I wanted to start, I love those of you who I'm getting to see here. So when more of you feel like you can tune in and give me a face to look at, that would be great. So first of all, well, maybe why are you like, you might be like, well, why did a family doctor who works in sports medicine get asked to give this talk? Any primary care doctor works. I mean, we are not doing our job if we are not taking care of mental health. I have a few statistics for you. Like we're the front lines. We're often the first folks that individuals present to. So about 10 to 20% of the general population will consult with a primary care physician um, for a mental health problem within the course of a year. 40 to 50% of primary care patients who utilize the system frequently have some sort of psychological illness. But I do kind of the crux of it for me is as a primary care physician and a sports physician, I am missing the boat if I just treat the sore throat. When folks come in to visit with me, there's an opportunity if I'm listening to engage in the greater holistic care of the person, and I absolutely that is really really important to me to listen and take care of that piece. And so a lot of folks come in for one thing, and then we end up talking about like the thing that's going on in their life. So I do want to talk about kind of like, and this is not really what the talk's going to be about, but like, well, how do we, like, what are the more structured medical ways to get your help for your mental wellness? Well, you can go see your primary care doctor, and they should be well connected in like getting you connected with perhaps a counselor. And counselors go by many names. That is that psychologist word, and like there's two words that I think are really close together: psychologist and psychiatrist. And the psychiatrist is the medical doctor, like myself, medical doctor, but as in family medicine, I do all kinds of things, adults, children, all kinds of things. But the psychologist takes care of only mental health in many ages. So typically, they're less accessible to you than a primary care doctor, and so typically we would help one access those services as needed. The psychologist is the person that's going to provide you with treatment, which is therapy or counseling. But it isn't all like what you might think of, like you just getting to talk. The psychologist is going to give you homework and help you think about your thoughts and perhaps retrain some of your thoughts. So who has any questions at this point or any thoughts? Anything? We're all completely bored? I would love to see more of your faces. So far, I see Barbara, she's laughing. Oh, Pierre has got his hand up. I love it. Pierre, what's going on? Oh, maybe not. Maybe that's just my screen. That's my screen. I got super excited. I would love if someone interrupted me and had a question, because this is more, I would like more of a discussion and less of sort of like, again, me talking at you. So I just kind of wanted to start with like, that's formal kind of mental health or mental wellness treatment. But I think where the next kind of place I wanted to go is from a mental wellness standpoint. It's definitely a continuum, right? Like those of you who are, yeah, like, I mean, even like throughout kind of the year, right? Like They're like summer tends to be kind of a good spot, and then the holidays, and then they're especially in this area of the country. January and February kind of be rough on all of us. And so, it took me years to realize that kind of. And so then, like, now if you realize that sort of a thing, then you can kind of plan for it and know that it's not going to be super awesome in January or February. But then, like, what do I do in January and February? So, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was just awareness that your mental health or mental wellness is a continuum. And you sort of have to be like checking in with yourself, right? Like and so sort of like, well, why do I feel bad at this time every year? Why is that? And then what can I do to proactively um sort of address that? So for example, I do bad in January and February. And so what I know that I need to do is I got one of those happy lights. Who knows what a happy light is? Okay. All right, a few people. Yeah. So, Barbara, I'm going to ask you to be brave and like, can you tell the group what a happy light is?
Yeah. So the light that emits vitamin D, I guess. I don't know the specific UV that it's giving out, but yeah, it like boosts that vitamin D in your body. So.
Yeah, so it's a full thank you. Love the audience participation, even if I'm encouraging it. It's a full spectrum light that helps get your body kind of when like a lot of us notice that we do better with more sun, and so in the winter months there's not nearly as much sun, and we want to sleep all the time, and so it kind of helps get our circadian rhythm in a better spot. It's a very natural way to help with our mood and our energy. And it works well, and it's cheap, and it's easy. And so what I do in October is I get out my happy light and I stick it in the bathroom. And then when I'm doing, like, when you get older, there's a lot of magic that needs to happen in the bathroom to kind of make things happen. And so I turn that thing on, and if you get like 30 minutes a day, it really can work well. So that's just one example of kind of a thing that's sort of like not super medical that you can do for your mental wellness on a daily basis. And so that is kind of where I wanted to spend some time today, and hopefully get your ideas and thoughts. Of course, I made a pretty big list of things, and I'm kind of old school, like I got handwritten notes here, because I did want to go old. I did want to kind of do a little throwback here of, it's easy for me to talk at you, and so much more I think interactive if I'm talking with you and getting sort of like your thoughts and ideas on what works for you. And so I was hoping that we could kind of talk about that continuum of our mental health, where we are in 2021, where, I mean, 2021, like, for example, like, we can't, when I was preparing for this talk, my husband was like, we got to talk about the elephant in the room, right? And the elephant in the room is the pandemic, right? So let's start there a little bit. Like, what are the challenges of the pandemic? And you guys can use, like, here, I'll look in the chat box. Like, if you guys don't want to necessarily speak, you could use the chat box, and I know Kyle is monitoring for that. And then now I made you guys go away, so I'm going to bring you back. So like, what are your thoughts on the challenges of the pandemic?
Hi, Sunday. I will actually get it started. Maybe some
Okay, would love that.
feel more comfortable. So as you know, I'm an Access advisor, I'm a staff member, but it doesn't mean that I am immune to feeling the effects of, depression or issues impacting everyone because of the pandemic. So what used to help me out, I had like a list of things that helped with my mental wellness. So if I was having a bad day, I would go through this list to feel, for things that would make me feel better. Where it became problematic is once the pandemic hit, I was no longer able to check off that box, you know, things that made me happy, because either they were closed or I wasn't allowed to do them because it involved people. So that, I think, made it the most difficult for me personally during the pandemic. Is I had a system in place, and that system was now disrupted because of what, you know, the regulations and strict guidelines that the pandemic caused. Now it's getting better that things are opening up, but and now that it's sunny, you know, we have the vitamin D and all of that, but it's been very difficult. I know for us, so I can't imagine what students are going through right now.
I think there are a few people, I'm just going to look at the chats here. Working from home can be isolating, and not being able to socially interact is isolating. So I agree. So I like that theme where, like, everything that we may have been part of our routine, I think, like every kind of part of our routine got upended, right? There's some more chat going on here. Oh, I love this. Often not feel like I'm being productive enough. Those are great. Those are great things. I feel the same way. And I'm literally coming from you in my home office. You know, the other thing that happens to me is that I also feel like the minute I wake up in the morning, I walk in here and get working, and then I eat in here. And so, like, I don't do a very good job of being like, okay, I'm going to step away and take a break, because like the home office is here. And there was another great thing in the chat here, feeling like our college experience is being wasted. Feeling overall, I'm reading some comments, feeling overall drained. I want to validate the exhaustion. The pandemic is exhausting, right? Why do we think that is? Why do we think the pandemic is exhausting? Does anyone have any thoughts on that? Oh, Mary, awesome. Hello.
Hi, yeah, I attended a really interesting webinar a while ago on the way that the pandemic is affecting our brain, and it's almost like a trauma response. Like it's physically changing the way our brain works and causing us to feel like we're in trauma.
Yeah, you know, I don't, you know, I absolutely, that is an answer. I also think that just, you know, what about just the the changing, like, okay, here comes the vaccine, and then like, okay, you can get it, you can't get it. You know, like there's so much change. Now there's variants. Who thought we'd be doing this for a year? No, I mean, seriously? Remember back about this time last year, like I remember kind of packing my office up at work and thinking like, okay, I'll be back here in 2 weeks. Literally, that's what I thought. And look, like I have been in this home office for a year. Now, are things more normal? Yes. But I mean, and the other thing I think about the pandemic that is exhausting is that like name a person that this doesn't affect. It affects everybody, like everybody, you know, where like other sort of like crises, like if you think about you know, like this is more my vintage, you know, like I was more your age when 9/11 happened. Like it happened, it was a thing, and it was very sad and traumatic, but then it was over and we could recover. And like this thing is going on and on, and it continues. Like, I mean, some of the things that I was thinking about earlier is like, well, some of us are worried about personally getting the virus. Some of us have varying or have varying feelings about you know, do I get the vaccine, do I wear a mask? I think then we have like disagreements, and so like I saw some messages here, like maybe about folks seeing the silver lining. I had a better summer experience because of all the time I spent outdoors and exercising due to the pandemic. Showed me how to exercise, importance in mental health. Well, I like that. So so on the list, where I'm kind of getting is like, well, what are the things that we use to support and why? And so I think it was Nick. Nick, do you want to, like, why do you think exercise helped you out? Like what works for you? Do you want to talk on that or put more in the chat?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
So I think like just being at home for so long with nothing to do, I'd run, lift weights, play pickleball like every day. And honestly, I had more fun doing that than I've had any other summer. And it kind of just showed me how important it is to exercise and stuff, especially during school now, like going for walks or doing whatever just has really helped me. So, yeah.
Well, and I think one of the things I wanted to chat about today too was like, I think naturally some of us are going to tend towards certain things versus others. And so what I was hoping that would happen today too is that we would share things that are good for us, but then also like as we're sharing like Nick's experience, we might be someone else might be like, well, that's a good idea. Maybe I should try that. Because one of the things for me with sort of exercise, and sometimes exercise is like a bad word, like, oh, it means like I got to do something for 30 minutes and I got to be suffering and something else, versus like I get to take a walk with the dog, which is something enjoyable. And so let's call it physical activity or an active lifestyle. Like, let's just get out and move and then feel the experience of that. But I have been like pretty tired. And so that's actually been a challenge of mine, is like to find the time and the space to do that. But then don't beat up on yourself, right? Like who's kind of beaten up on themselves a little bit? Maybe. Yeah, like what are we telling ourselves? Yeah, Rob's giving me the thumbs up. Yeah, Rob, how are you beating up on yourself? Can you feel like you can share that?
Yeah, so I'm also a staff member at the Access Center. But I think for me, it's just I feel like I don't know much like what I can do. So like I'm a very extroverted person, and that's something that's very challenging. Not being able to be around people and trying to find ways to connect over, FaceTime or computer, and how do you avoid connecting with folks on FaceTime, but majority of my day is on Zoom. So it's kind of like it's really hard to find ways to engage, because 8 hours of my day is looking at a computer, and I don't want to look at a computer to connect with friends. And that's kind of the only alternative we have at the moment.
Yeah, I do. And I was hoping that we would get to talk about that a little bit. I think maybe like kind of back to the silver lining of like where we are right now. I think as the weather gets better, like and this is, like as a physician, like I think that, going for a walk with a person and you guys could choose to wear a mask would be a pretty safe thing to do, And so I think that would be, and I did want to kind of talk about like the space that we are in now from a pandemic, and because I think we have to continue to learn how to live with this virus. And we know now, and we didn't know this a year ago, that masks work pretty darn good. They're not perfect, but then if you layer on, like if a person feels good about getting the vaccine and both of you are vaccinated and you're outside, and I'm currently not talking about state guidance or anything. I'm just sort of, kind of chatting about like, so outdoor gatherings amongst vaccinated individuals and choosing to wear a mask or not. And depending on like the current CDC guidance is like, if you have another household also vaccinated and it's just those two households, then you could not wear a mask. But I also think that as a younger age group, and I'm thinking I'm talking to a lot of students, like you're in a very social time of your life. And so I do want to acknowledge that, this is just really hard. But I do think like we know masking works. Now, I think it's probably weird to go out and meet new people in a mask. Like who's tried to do that? Like, who's been to the grocery store and like someone's like this, and they also have like a stocking cap on and you only get to see this. And like, you're like, who is this person? You're walking by people that you know. But I think, what are some other things that we can do now, do you think, to be social? And I agree with Rob, like after a day of meetings, like the last thing you maybe want to do is be on the phone more. Anybody have any other ideas? I'm not sure I have any other ideas. I think outdoors is a really good option. So let's kind of talk about like, so some of the things that I think outdoors has saved me, That's from Davy. Golfing and skiing. So from Mary, like my husband's been skiing all winter, and I've actually felt pretty safe about that for him because you're outdoors and everyone wears a mask. And so I think the other thing that I can say, as you know, with good experience as the team doctor for WSU, is we have really good data now to show that we don't spread COVID on the field of play. We tend to get COVID from our roommates, from people we are sitting next to and sharing a lot of air. And so like we can feel pretty good about getting outside and playing baseball and soccer and some of these things. And, you know, even traveling, like airplanes is not a source of infection. Now it's what we do when we get there, and I would still wear a mask on the plane, but I do think it allows us to move around a bit more because how many people are like missing family, missing a little bit of traveling. But I do think what we do on the other end, like would I go to a restaurant at the other end? Like it would depend. I would maybe eat outside if it's spaced, but every person also has their own. Like one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was grace, kindness, and acceptance. Because I think one of the things is we've noticed in the country is just a lot of different views on, you know, should we wear a mask and is that political or not? Should we get a vaccine? And so I think one thing is I wanted to just say it out loud. It's okay to agree to disagree. Like, okay, you guys don't agree on getting a vaccine, but can we still like have a beer together or have a conversation? Yes. And I think that that's an important thing. And then you have to sort of like, how do you, with those folks, like who's going to wear a mask, who's not, like, we just have to have the conversation. Has anyone had any conversations like that? I'm seeing some nodding heads. Does anyone want to talk about negotiating? I think, because that's one of the things that I've had to negotiate. And I'm a doctor, so like everyone kind of knows like I'm going to be kind of, you know, more on the conservative side. But I think that that could be a hard conversation sometimes, but a good one. I'm going to check the chat, see what we got going on here. Outdoor happy hours can be safe with masks and social distancing. I agree. Like, who like maybe we had an outdoor Thanksgiving. My poor parents. It was kind of fun. We had a fire. You know, everyone ate outside in the garage. The dog thought it was great.
So one thing that we do, so my husband Kyle and I, we went home for the holidays. You know, it's wearing shields and everything, trying to be as safe as possible. But we do have some family members that are high risk, so we made sure to sit outside by the fire, like you were saying, and we just didn't touch. And that, you know, was safe, the safest we could be, and we were still able to see each other. We all wore masks, and it was a good alternative to just Zooming and calling them.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the one things that that we have done here at the Henry household too, is like, especially in the summer, we had folks outdoors, and that was, so like winter was harder. I think the summer will be better. So we're basically right now talking about like, how do we regain some social connections, which I think we're all saying is like Zoom is great, but we're kind of tired of it, right? So I think that's great. But you know, the other thing, and this kind of comes back to me kind of wanting to see your faces, like there is something really powerful that happens from your face and that connection. But that even when you're texting or on the phone, like it affects a different part of your brain, you know? And so I think like that in person, you know, and who misses hugging? And I'm not a super big hugger, you know? Like that is, and that's been well studied about like the good endorphins than that that provides, and that's just how social we are as humans. So I do kind of have this like, how should we support our mental wellness? And back to the continuum, like there are days when you just get up, you're great, you're cruising, you know, it's May 1st, you're like near the end of the semester, things are going good. And then there's the like, oh, I got to find a job or whatever, and you're not doing so good. And so like, what are the things that we need to do? What are the things that you guys, what are your go-to things to get you supported? Like, let's hear from some new people. Like all you people, like there's a bunch of people here. Like what's your go-to? I got some go-tos, but I know you have some go-tos too. What's your go-to to support your mental wellness? Crickets. Someone in the chat? Still crickets. Music. Oh, great, Wesley. Do you feel comfortable talking about music? I love it. It's on my list. Do you
Especially like happy, upbeat music makes people happier. So, if you're kind of feeling down, you just play some music and get some good vibes going.
Do you sing to it really loud? Do you drive to it in the car? Do you have a fave?
Driving to loud music is always good too, in my opinion.
Yeah, like to me, driving like with really loud music, like sometimes when I'm really happy or really sad, is sort of like a thing in the car. I like to like sing really loud too. I think it's sometimes we forget that. Who plays music? Someone play music? Yeah, Kyle does. And I see a lot of great things in the chat here. I see art. Hey, Jessica, do you want to talk about art? Like, what kind of art are you doing?
I do like digital art. So I have like the iPad and like the pencil. So I'll do like digital art.
Is that something you've been doing for a long time, or is that something you've discovered new recently?
I discovered it at like the beginning of COVID hitting. So like someone had one and I used it and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to have this. And so it kills a lot of time.
And like when you start it, like you might feel like this, and at the end you might feel like this. What's the transition in how you're feeling when you're doing it?
When I start it, I know I'm starting it just to kill like time because I don't have a roommate and so I'm bored. And then when I'm doing it, I'm just obviously focusing on the art. And then when I'm finished, then I have to find something else to do. It's kind of just like a repeating cycle.
But I think that one of the things that you just said, like it makes you present. And I don't know, like, what about like when people talk about mindfulness, are you guys in the same spot I'm at where you're just like, what is that? Like, what's mindfulness? And to me, I think there's a lot of different definitions of mindfulness. I think it's like being in the moment. And I think when you're doing something like that, you're in the moment. And some other people in the chat put some things in about reading, meditation, time without internet and social media. So Alice, talk to me about that. How do you get that done?
Yeah, I think I use social media pretty, I think mindfully. I use it when I feel like I need to. And I think just to give you an example, my anxiety, I noticed, was just really increasing this last couple of weeks with all the anti-Asian, hate going on. And I felt pressured to, use social media and, make my voice heard. But I also noticed it made me really stressed out. So I, a couple of days ago, last week, took a mental health half day and just put my phone away. And then just went into another room and just did a puzzle for like hours. So I think a lot of it was just staying away from the devices, or choosing an alternative use, like maybe turning off my Wi-Fi and then maybe turning on a podcast instead.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Like, I think that, in my phone, it's right here. I turned it on mute. My husband kind of makes fun of me. I use my phone a lot for work, and I'm not super big on social media. But, the thing is that sort of got me thinking about social media is like, they didn't design it to make us feel better. Social media was designed to keep us on there. And so like, just think about when you're on social media, is this what I want to be doing? Or is this a rabbit hole I went down because something prompted me or something like that? Alice is also popping back up saying she deleted the apps from her phone. My husband made a rule at some point that he wasn't going to look at it over the weekend or when he was at home, like Facebook, just because like he would get down rabbit holes and then those things were upsetting. So I think that this circles back to awareness. And I think being aware of like what things that might be upsetting or making us feel a certain way. And that was something that, you know, I was going to talk to us a little bit, like just being aware of, like, if you're upset, kind of monitor that and ask yourself why. And I was in a talk recently, and you know, they said, hey, if you get mad, you should ask yourself, the speaker said, if you get mad, you should ask yourself why. And I thought that was really powerful. And I think you could be like, if you're emotional in any way, you should ask yourself why, and then process that a little bit. And so, like, I got good and mad this morning about an email, like who's done that lately? And kind of the whys, and this is back to like my mental wellness state, is I'm tired, a little bit, you know, too much might be have asked of me in the last 24 hours. And so, and I didn't feel supported in this email. And so did that fix all the problems? No, but at least I know where the emotion is coming from. And I think sometimes we don't always sit and think about, like, well, where's the emotion coming from? And it just kind of sits with us. And so processing how you feel and why, I think is powerful, and then maybe lets you address it. Does anyone have any thoughts about kind of like, you know, just thinking about understanding where the emotion is coming from? Anyone have anything they want to say about that? It's okay if you don't. I really love what Alice shared with us, you know, the deleting the apps from the phone. And I want to go to some of these other kind of thoughts, like walking and meditation and reading. Who has like rediscovered reading recently as a great place? Has anyone read anything good? You know, the great thing about reading, especially, you know, is like it is an absolute break from, you know, it just takes your mind to a different place, you know? What about meditate? Who meditates? Who put in there something about meditation? Meditation kind of scares me a little bit, like, because I don't really do it, but I think it's great. But I think it might scare a lot of people off because they're like, well, like, what am I doing? And I think there's a lot of these things, like, we just need to like be open and try them. So who's tried something new during the pandemic to help themselves feel better? Dabby says she has. Who else? Someone else try something new? So I have. Oh, Mary's tried to ski. Yeah. So I tried to get back into reading again, but I've been baking a lot. Someone learned to sew. Ariel, tell us about sewing.
Oh, it was just something that I picked up because my mom, she wanted me to learn how to like make masks for everyone, which I didn't learn how to do. Funny. I actually learned how to make like bags, how to alter my clothes instead. And then right now I'm busy, so I haven't been able to sew a lot, but I plan on getting back to it in the summer. But yeah, and I've also learned how to knit, but I want to pick up crocheting next.
So fun. I think what those things do too, like a lot of people like to crochet, is it puts you in the moment. How many people have gotten a new pet? Anybody get it? Mary. Tell me about your pets. Can someone show me their pet on the screen?
I can try to find her, but we ended up fostering that turned into an adoption. It lasted about a day before we decided to adopt her.
So Kaylin got a cat. Mary is showing us her cat. Ariel got a golden retriever. Oh my gosh, there's Kaylin and her cat. That is so great. What do those guys do for us? I love it when they just like, when I'm working with someone and they just like cruise across the screen and there's just suddenly a cat and they're like sniffing at the thing. And like, I think I have a dog. He's not joining me today, but he may at any moment bust into the room here and bark or whatever, but he makes me laugh. And I think the interruption to the Zoom meetings are awesome when some animal is making some sort of noise, or my dog has not been on the desk here. That would be kind of a big show for him. But but like periodically they need our attention, right? And they, one of the things, oh, there's Davies. Oh, she is so cute. Wow, look at that. So they're always happy to see us, right? Like, what is better? Is there anything better than coming home to that animal that's like purring? Dogs don't purr, but he makes a lot of snorting noises. He's a boxer. His name's Otis. There's a lot of snorting and barking and jumping, and like he's got this little stubby tail. So I mean, nothing is better than that, and they put us right in the moment. And that is actually one of the most sort of powerful things that I sort of like got to when I was preparing to speak with you today is just being mindful can be as simple as repeatedly bringing yourself back to the present throughout the day. And one of the things that I read recently, this was a commercial, but it's just kind of an example of something that small that can make you think. It was a commercial for that like Calm app. Have you guys seen that Calm app? And it was like, hey, you should just sit for 15 seconds and not do anything. And you think to yourself, well, that's not very long. I'm going to ask you guys, oh, Alice, I see you and your animal now. Oh, hello. Yes. Oh, so cute. Thanks for having he or she join. So when was the last time we sat for 15 seconds? I sit in this room and eat a lot of the time. Now, I did make a point before this meeting. I had a little lunch with my husband. So that was great. But like, these are like small things. And so I think throughout the day, so then I tried it. It was like, I'm a sports doctor. I cover a lot of events. So I was like, it was halftime and I was in the locker room and I was like, well, I'm just going to sit here. There was like 4 minutes left to half. And so I just sat there and shut my eyes. And then my brain kind of did its thing. And, when I got done, I felt kind of good, And so like, all I did was sit and be mindful a minute and just sort of like take a check of like how I felt mentally, emotionally, how my body felt, and you just kind of, and then I just kind of took some deep breaths, nothing magical about it, but we just don't do that enough. The other thing that I think is like, when was the last time you just, and not everybody has this opportunity, like a front porch or whatever, but maybe your animals help you do this, is you like go outside and just sit there in the sun and you just, what do you smell? What do you hear? What do you feel? And is it a squirrel chirping? Is it the road noise? And that is really calming to the soul, but we don't do it, but we should. What else do you guys do to support your mental wellness? What else? I'm gonna look in the chat here, see what we got going on. I got all the animals. Mushroom hunting. And Riley, so Alice went mushroom hunting and Riley started reading Little Fires Everywhere. It was a great book. So was Little Big Lies. So reading was a good thing. What is there other stuff? I'm looking at my list here. So I'm going to challenge you guys. Hiking is a good one. The great thing about hiking too is you're outdoors and there's something, and I was going to look up the kind of the science behind this and I didn't, but there's something so peaceful about being in nature. I'm convinced that there's a study out there that shows how it calms the mind. Like if you guys, like you're just in the forest and it's just so majestic, your brain just, or the sound of a stream or the ocean, like our bodies are connected to nature, but this pandemic has held us up. And so we got to find ways to get out into nature. And winter's hard. Winter's hard unless you're a skier, I think. What else? What other stuff do we do? What questions do you guys have? Keeping a journal for reflection. I'm not very good at that. I like to self-reflect when I'm exercising, and I kind of like things that are on my mind come up, but sometimes that's a really good process, the journaling for folks. And the other thing I want to mention, like we don't have to do all these things, but I'm trying to just kind of start a discussion, like, and sometimes we will need none of these things, and sometimes we need a lot of support. But like, don't forget about these things that we're talking about, but we have to layer them on the basics of eating good, drinking enough water, which is a challenge for me, but I try, and sleep. So sleep has definitely been something. Who has had trouble sleeping in the last year? Or weird dreams? I've had some weird stress dreams, let me tell you. Or you wake up and you're clenching, you know? So I think that's another place to be aware, like if you're not sleeping well, like what might be happening. You know, is it a relative in the hospital? Is it someone who's lost a job? Is it school building up? You know, I had some stress dreams last week. There's a lot of kind of things clinically I've been taking care of, you know? And so I think then just acknowledging why that is and then addressing it. And Dabby's putting in, what are some ways to improve our sleep patterns during the pandemic? And so I do think that exercise, or I'm going to call it physical activity, getting out and moving every day is good, because feeling physically tired helps us. And then, you know, things that you guys all know about, like screens, like knowing that if you're going to get out that screen, if it's going to keep you up, and I do this, but just know if you're doing it, acknowledge it. If you're really working on getting your sleep habits right, you got to get rid of that screen at night. Having a sleep regimen, you know, like like you have like a thing that you do before bed, like you brush your teeth, you let the dog out, put your PJs on. It's your routine, and it's telling your body, I'm going to bed now. And going to bed at the same time each night, you basically give yourself jet lag. If you are like one night you're going to bed at 1 a.m., the next night you're going to bed at 10, and then you're getting up at different times, like your body likes routine. And so if you're throwing it all those curveballs, it'll have a harder time going to sleep. Caffeine is unhelpful for sleep. Alcohol, in the end, doesn't help sleep. Taking some deep breaths before bed is good. And, you know, if you're really having a lot of trouble sleeping, that might be when you go see the counselor or the doctor, because sleep is the foundation for a lot of things. Like if people come into me and they're not sleeping, one of the first things I do is get them back sleeping, and it fixes a lot of things. Like I have trouble coping the next day if I don't, you know, if you don't have a lot of sleep days in a row. Any other thoughts on sleep? That was a great cue, Davy. Thoughts or questions on sleep? The thing is, what I see is it's so important, but it's the first thing we're willing to throw out the window, right? Like, oh, I gotta do X, Y, and Z. I need time. I just, you know, sleep is the first thing because it's cheap and easy to get rid of. So really prioritizing your sleep is important. I'm going to the chat. So I think we're like, I want to make sure you guys are maybe getting what you hoped out of this. I'm going to kind of look at my list here and see like any other challenges that anyone would want to sort of throw out during the pandemic, or things you want to hear from me. Because I do have a few other things. I got more notes. Someone mentioned that things have been harder in the pandemic, but some professors have huge expectations for their classes that may not be attainable. Do you have any recommendations to cope with this? Yeah, so that a good segue is like a few other things. You know, one of the things that I have done, and it's not like just sort of like assess where you are in that moment in the day and maybe change your expectations. You know, like one of the things, like, because sometimes with all of the things going on, we may not have the energy or the time to just do all the things that we like would do when we don't have all these stress upon us. So, you know, is my hair and makeup like perfect today? Am I in like a suit to talk to you today? No. Did I shower and pull my hair back and stuff like that? Yes. And is that good enough for today? Yes. And so like during times of like intense stress, like we may want to just sort of like, okay, what are my expectations? What's attainable? And take it in small little bits and pieces. And the other thing is sort of like, be kind to yourself. Like, who has like an inner voice that's pretty critical? Mine is, you know, like, and so then you, like, I talk when patients come to see me, I talk a lot about that inner voice. Like mine can be so critical. And so like, take control of your inner voice, you know, and I like tell mine like, hey, calm down. And I give mine like positive things to see. Like, you know, one of my tricks is I have a password that's a really positive thing. And I type that password in. You guys all type that password in a bunch of days. Like mine is like a positive thing about myself. And I've done that on purpose. And that's a trick I learned a long time ago. So come up with a sentence that's kind to you. And that's your mantra. And then when you catch yourself being negative, like go, no. Like, I got this. This is my positive thing. And that was one of the other kind of like, surround yourself with positivity. The positivity should start with you. But then if they're like, when we were talking about negative social media, or if there's, you know, other negativity in your life, like kind of like really look at that and be like, okay, I don't need that right now, and get positive things. Like another thing I did was sign up for positive quotes from John Gordon, and I didn't work for him or anything. And some of them don't really speak to me, and some of them really do. And then I'll put them up on my whiteboard, you know, like I got one up there right now. Don't chase success, decide to make a difference, and success will find you. So kind of find little things like that to glom onto. The other thing is practice gratitude. I think that you can always find something to be thankful for, even if it's really small. And practicing gratitude is something that really does help our mental wellness. You can journal that, or you could just at the end of each day be like, well, what is the one thing that I did was good today? And if you force yourself to point that out, if I have a hard clinical day and I feel like I just, you know, I wasn't up to snuff and everything was hard and whatever else, I'll be like, wait a minute, did I help one person today? Is there one person that I helped? And you can always find that thing. And then you kind of flip that switch from positive or from negative to positive. Other thoughts? Did we solve it? Did we solve mental health in 2021? I think we shared some good ideas though. Looking at some of my notes here. A lot of them we talked about. One thing that we haven't talked about is challenging negative thoughts. So if you have a negative thought, like challenge that. Is that really true? Like if you just told yourself like, you know, I'm the dumbest person in America, like, is that true? You know, or like whatever it is, be like, is that true? And be like, that's not true. And then change that narrative. And then one of the other things is giving something of yourself, doing something nice for others actually really helps the other person and also helps you. And so like if you have time to volunteer, or if you can make someone cookies, or even just sending a nice card to someone, that's going to make their day, make your day, and probably spur them to do something kind for other people. And all of those like little tiny things actually really do help. And maybe sort of, and I didn't do this on purpose, but it just sort of happened. As I just leave one last thing for you, I really thought this was, and I wanted to say this, but you know, like humans are resilient. If you look at the history, like we can make it through hard things, but sometimes we need to be reminded. And so, you know, this thing that I looked at, like build an internal locus of control. If you see yourself as in control of your own destiny, then you realize that you're resilient. And I'm constantly reminding the people that I work with and the people that I help, you are resilient. We know you're going to make it through this, even when you don't think you do. So I think just reminding yourself you're resilient, and kind of if you know that about yourself, then you build confidence. And so I'll remind you that you're resilient, that we can make it through this, and that we're all in it together. And I'm happy to take any final questions or thoughts. And I really, really appreciate you guys spending time with me today. And for all of you who felt like you could speak up in the chat and share with us today, like that was really, really special, and it made it special for me too. Have a great week, you guys.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry. There's still time if anyone wants to ask Dr. Henry any questions. We'll be on here for a little bit longer. We have put an exit survey in the chat. Make sure to click on the exit survey. This counts for extra credit and also helps us understand what's working with our programming at the Access Center. You'll notice that I also added some resources, mental health resources at WSU that are free for students. We have CAPS, which is the Counseling and Psychological Services, and we also have the Psychology Clinic. They are doing telehealth appointments, and they're all free for students, so definitely take advantage of those opportunities and resources at WSU. They're wonderful, wonderful offices on campus, and they really do their best to help students, and we realize that even though we have some tools and suggestions, that's not everything. Sometimes we need a little more help. So definitely take advantage of these resources that I put in the chat. And then once again, don't forget exit surveys. Dr. Henry is here for just a couple more minutes. So if you want to ask any questions or have any comments, feel free to do so at this time. Thank you, Barbara. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Henry, thank you so much for your presentation today. I think it was really great and got to kind of the crux of a lot of stressors that students are facing on campus. So we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you. I appreciate the helps with the chats and all that. And I actually kind of started the week tired, and this was invigorating. So
good. There you go. Here's one technique that we can use.
yeah. No, I mean, sometimes just it was good to chat with folks. So thanks for all your hard work on this, and you guys have a great week.
Thank you so much, Dr. Henry. We will talk to you later. I will follow up via email.
Okay.
Thank you, everyone, for attending. We will see you at our next event at 2 p.m. behind Happy Faces. Thank you so much.